Welcome to Ask a Psychic. How you doing, Bobby?
We're doing good. I'm excited.
We're here with Jessenia. She is amazing, backed by popular demand. Super fun show last time, Jessenia. I got so many comments, feedback. People said they just absolutely love you and are super excited to have you back here. And so you guys know the drill. I'm going to be bringing you guys up. If you have a question that you want to ask a psychic, Jessenia is somebody that I work with personally, and I have asked her some deep questions just about my own direction in my world, and I get some incredible insights from her. I adore you, and I'm excited for today's show. I'm going to kick us off while we're waiting for the audience to populate right now. I have some questions. Well, I'm gonna start us off with a simple one. Okay. Robert F. Kennedy, stand a chance or doesn't stand a chance?
I like that one.
I haven't even been paying attention to politics at all. You know, the thing that I keep warning people about is that the political system is going to get really volatile. And I think we've already seen some of that take over, where we're looking for change. We're looking for change, and we're not getting a lot of people who want to participate in dramatic change. So it's going to be really interesting. And because of that, it feels like a lot of people don't actually want the responsibility. So even people running and campaigning don't really want the responsibility of being up there. And it's been really interesting to see it play out. I feel like we're on the cusp of some kind of, and I don't want to use the word, but it is what it is. I feel like we're on the cusp of some major anarchy is what I feel like. I feel like people who are coming into power are going to come into power to make dramatic change, and that either decision is going to be kind of revolted against on all sides, on every side. We're trying to rebuild the structure is what we're going to see over the next 20 years or so.
Heavy.
Yeah, super
it's
heavy.
It's going to be pretty dramatic. And that's why I don't like to talk about it, because I don't want to freak people out, but it's going to be a little dramatic. It's necessary change. In order to rebuild something, you have to first break it down.
Okay, I got a lighter question now. I got a friend over here. He's in that space where he kind of is talking to some females, and he's a very established entrepreneur, and he wants to know, can I say your name at all? Will Mr. Coleslaw have kids?
It's not made up. It sounds made up, but it's not made up.
But it's not made up. Bobby Coleslaw.
I mean, it feels like he can have kids if he wants to have kids, but that it feels like he's really got to get on that. It seems to be like some pressure to take some action and move on that already,
that is so good.
Yeah, it just feels like they're not going to fall out of the sky by accident. You got to put some work and effort into that one. And
hilarious. Okay, Jessenia, that was actually, you were spot on. You're spot on. I haven't seen my friend get so red in my life, and so get on that, son. He's on the phone right now. He's texting people. He's like, what are you doing tonight? Oh man, that's so good. Okay, guys, the link in the chat is to hop on and ask Jessenia a question. Just see what it is, right? If you got something burning in your heart you want to know about, just jump on in and ask a psychic. We're gonna move over to Ashinda Scott. Bring her up.
All right, we got Ashinda. Welcome, Ashinda.
Welcome,
Well,
welcome.
good
And we'll,
night.
we'll let you be, and we'll leave the screen.
Yeah.
Good night, Soul. This is my first time on here. I am a native. I've never been read before. But I just want to see how good you are. I want to see something. So, from me not telling you anything, do I need to tell you a few things?
No, I mean, if you have a specific question you want me to ask you that you want to know the answer to, then you would have to ask that and see if we have enough time to address that. We try to keep the questions shorter, but I can pull up a lot pretty quick. So depends. If you want a specific thing, ask. And if you don't want a specific thing, I can try to see what we pull up.
Okay. I want to see what you can pull up on basically my future as of right now when it comes to my health, my wealth, romance, and my son.
Mm-hmm. Well, Spirit already told me that there's a pattern here with I'm trying to like watch my mouth because I love to cuss, but not so great relationships. And that it's just, it seems to be, let me listen to it. You're super independent. You know, you're kind of like a don't know how to let yourself be helped, supported, and taken care of kind of person. And it feels like part of that pattern is that it's almost like you want somebody there, you want a healthy relationship, you want companionship, but you're not always sure how to put down that wall or that barrier. And let somebody support you. It almost makes you uncomfortable sometimes. And that's like that independence, that's a childhood thing, you know, that's something you were taught very early in life, that you can't depend on people, that you can't have someone there that you, or that you're not worthy of being nurtured and taken care of. So that's an interesting pattern you have there. Do you know what I'm talking about? So that's, I mean, that's stopping you. It's not that you're unlovable. It's not that you're not a great partner. It's not that you don't have a whole bunch of stuff to offer, but that's also going to affect your finances. How do you think we get money? People have to give it to us, right? People have to come to us and hand us money. You won't let yourself be supported. If somebody came up and was like, here's this amazing job, you'd be like, no, I got to work harder. I got to earn that. I'm not worthy of that. You're going to shut doors where people are trying to open doors for you. So it's a problem, you know, it's not like the universe is trying to deny you the right relationship, but you have to let yourself be helped. And it might sound weird, but practice letting yourself get gifts, right? When somebody says something, just say thank you. It might be weird, it might be awkward. Don't make excuses for it. Just say thank you. That's so sweet of you. I really appreciate that. And walk away from it. Don't feel like you owe them. Don't try to give it back. Don't be like, oh, no. I can't have this $3 coffee. Let your practice in safe ways.
Oh, well, all right. Thank you.
Sorry, made you cry.
Wow.
Thanks for having the courage to jump on.
Ashinda, looks like she hit it right. That she hit the nail right on the head there, and you know, it's all good, right? I had tears the first time that I talked to her too, and had to really ask myself some hard questions and then change some patterns. None of that is difficult. Well, it is difficult, but it's so worth it. So let it resonate and just
you know, one of my favorite quotes from Spirit is that all the things we want are on the other side of the work we're not doing. But I find that it's not like clients don't want to do the work. It's sometimes that they don't know what it is. So that's where the power of kind of knowing what it is. You know, you're not doing anything wrong in your life. You're just so used to being independent, taking care of yourself and doing everything on your own because you don't know how to depend on people. So it's a trust issue. You know, so sometimes when we know the thing, we can actively face it. It's not like we want to hurt. We don't want to suffer. We don't want the problems in our life. But having the answers helps us unlock that. And that's the beauty of that. Now that you know, I bet you're going to see a bunch of solutions and answers and resources that help you really dive deep into that and free yourself from it.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you.
I appreciate you for
Love you,
coming on.
sister.
Thank you.
For all of you guys asking questions in the chat, just jump on the link. You don't have to turn your camera on. That's totally okay. You can just ask via voice. That's totally fine. But my friend here doing yoga on the coffee table wants to ask a question. Bobby?
I'm stretching. Well, I had a question. I was just going to follow up with like what practical things should Ashinda do with this new information? Like how
Well,
do you do the work? You know, the success is on the other side of the work. What would you say in her case is the work?
well, I'm going to give a couple of general examples because, you know, I think a lot of people could benefit from knowing some of that stuff. When we struggle letting ourselves be supported, it's a trust wound. It means that we grew up in a difficult world where we didn't have parents or people we could depend on. You know, we lack the foundation of that support and structure. So a lot that could fragment into a lot of themes. One of those is we sometimes don't know how to have fun because we missed our childhood. We were likely parentified or grew up or matured too early. So doing the work to learn to play, learn to have fun, learn to explore who you are and what you value, learn to enjoy life a little bit is really important. That helps us kind of open up that wound and work through it. Joy is love, right? So we find the people that are made for us on the roads to doing things that make us happy. So there we have, obviously, like I'm not going to meet anyone sitting at home doing nothing. And I definitely, you know, don't want someone breaking into my house to come meet me. So I'm going to have to go out and find stuff to do. So that road of activities and fun and exploration helps us meet the right people because they're doing the things we like too. Additionally, letting yourself work through that trust by kind of healing those old wounds. So that would mean going back into your life, and I call it shadow work, reviewing the times, places, memories, or moments where that trust was lost and you felt alone and you felt like you couldn't lean on someone and you felt like nobody was there for you. And then kind of bringing peace to that and realizing that you can be your own salvation and hero and support system. But also, if you don't bring peace to that, you won't learn to trust people who deserve it, right? You're bleeding on people who didn't wound you is kind of like the saying there. So healing that. And then making sure you have a community of people you can lean on and that can support you and, you know, let yourself be supported. A lot of people with that wound, it's really funny. A lot of people with that wound will tell me, oh, well, I joined a friends group and every single time I ask them for something, they take advantage of me or, you know, all this stuff. Until the wound is healed at its root with the, you know, the assignments I just mentioned, it's going to keep resurfacing in your life. It's going to keep showing up. So and I would say there's no running away from it, right? It's going to keep showing up in your friends, in your patterns. So you can't run away from the people. You have to set better boundaries. You have to do more shadow work, more healing, more self-repair, more trust work. And then it stops showing up. So the people in your life change and elevate and start supporting you and start taking care of you differently.
Yeah.
There's no magic to it. You know, we attract what we need to heal. A lot of people say you attract what you are. And I say you attract what you need to heal because that's the purpose of Earth School, that we need to grow, evolve, and shift. There's no denial, but we need to expose why we're denying ourselves. And that's the healing process.
I love that. I love the term Earth School. That's great. We're all students. I love it.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Everything's a lesson if you look at
you're
it.
still here and you heard all that, Ashinda.
She is. Awesome. We're going to keep it going over here. Next up, we have Renee Kishi. She likes it when I say it that way. Kishi, Kishi, Kishi. Take it away, Renee.
Hello. It's so nice to be here. I am going to deviate from what I always talk about with my typical Capricorn self, which is work equity. And I'm going to go into the love equity. So I just kind of want to hear, I have a person of interest, which sounds like they're in the FBI, but I've come off of a divorce. I've come off of some personal debt because of the divorce and really, really did a lot of work. I was in a 12-year cycle. I started, I think it was like 2011 or 12. And I just kept going. And I did a lot of astrology this last year. And allegedly, supposedly, the cycle ended at the end of this December and into January. And it was somewhere around mid-January, there was a click and I could feel it. And I just thought, oh my God, is this it? Like, is this is this I'm on the other side of something? Not like I know something, but I could say that there was a completion of a cycle. So I guess my question being like, would you concur with that? And then at the same time, and I don't want to say too much because I kind of I'm not testing you, but I want to kind of hear like your version of where my actual love equity could be. Because I am Capricorn, Moon, Aquarius, Sun, and Scorpio rising. So I'm a hot mess over here, and somebody's going to have to like meet me. And this person is a Taurus, Aquarius, Leo. So like, is that a match? Is that a match from the last? I can't afford. I'm at the age where I can't afford any more BS. I'm not in my 20s, and I'm not out here fooling around. And I don't know about this dating scene. Sounds like a nightmare. So, I'm really looking for partnership. I'm really looking for, your love life is great, like the intimacy part of it. But after a while, you got to keep that alive. But after a while, like you really want somebody that you can do life with, like really do life with. And that is what I'm looking for. So I'm not 100% sure what my question is. I just want to kind of throw that out there and see what your take on it is in the moment.
So, generally speaking, I like to put up the generals here because a lot of people, when we're doing these lives, a lot of people are learning and listening and using the information for themselves too. So I point out the general part because you just said, I'm healing, I'm doing the work, I'm doing all this stuff. So one of the things that's really powerful for me that I teach my students is most of us seek relationship through the characteristics we deny ourselves, or to the places we find lack, or to the wounds that have repeated in our childhood. So for example, we may want someone who will give us a lot of attention, or buy us a lot of gifts, or give us a lot of personal quality time. Those are actually reflections of our childhood lack. So I would say get really good with making that list, that shopping list. Everybody has a shopping list, making that list and being very aware of which one of those are actually lacking in you. Because that means that you're shopping inappropriately. You're trying to fill a void and not actually find companionship or partnership that's going to elevate you. And so if you remove those things and you still have some really powerful connection there that makes you excited about learning what's next, then you're going to find those relationships are the most elevating, the most powerful, and they last longer because they're not going to be ripped out in those wounds. Like when you heal the wound, there's no attraction left. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so generally speaking, that's like one of my favorite exercises when people are seeking love, is to acknowledge which one of them are, what is love and what is actually a condition we've placed based on our own wound. As for this relationship, another thing I like to teach people, we are evolving really quickly. I mean, consider the past. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have Wi-Fi. We didn't have all these resources. We barely understood psychology. We barely understood our own emotions. Now we have all of that. And we are growing really quickly. And what I'm finding is a lot of people are moving through people very quickly. It's like we're meeting people to grow, to change, to shift, to evolve. And then we're kind of moving to the next phase and seeing where that kind of leads us. And it's not bad. It's actually really beautiful. That's the whole purpose of a relationship, is reflective learning, listening, changes. Relationships are our mirror. So it feels like this is a powerful time for you to reflect and grow. And it does feel like this person is shoving you into a lot of that work and supporting it. But it also feels like that's going to shift and change in 3 to 5 years. So I just wanted to point all that out. That is not necessarily a bad thing. And it's definitely not a waste of time, because it does feel like it is something you need right now. And it does feel very nurturing right now. And it does feel very supportive of the mission you're on right now. We also have free will. So you may decide this is working for me and I like the comfort of this longer than that time frame. And a lot of people actually do. A lot of people stay in relationships much longer than they should, which I'm sure you already know all about, right?
Oh, yes.
We are stubborn as hell. So we do have free will. It doesn't mean that it's going to end catastrophically. It feels like it is a good thing for you now, and that it's helping you now, and that you're in a good place right now. You really are. You're in a good place. And it feels like a positive experience to have that type of support and companionship during these phases.
Beautiful. Yeah, that sounds about right. I had an epic weekend. I'm still recovering from. I look tired. Which started with the concert and ended with the Lakers game. So I'm just in everything in between. So I'm just unpacking that and having a really good time. And and just having a good time. Like I
Yeah.
said what I said because we're in a condensed
So
situation
healing.
here, but I'm also just having a good time. So thanks for just contributing to that. I appreciate it.
So, well, when she was saying that, I was like, she's making a list. She's taking it twice. She's trying to find out who's naughty and nice.
No,
Nope.
my list is more like Stand a Line and Hope.
Okay. All right.
I'm running in this direction if you want a piece of this.
Good to see you.
Bye.
All right. Up next, we've got Sarah Miller. Hi, Sarah Miller. How are you?
Hello, friends. I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Take it away.
Okay. Hi, Jessenia. I don't really want to say too much. I'm in a place right now where I'm like I just really, really need some guidance.
I'm already feeling a lot of grief coming from you. And it just feels like you're letting go of a lot of things. And there's a lot of transition and change happening. So let me see what Spirit says about all of that emotion. I feel like I'm going to cry. Okay. It's just that, there's nothing bad or terrible. It just feels like you're letting go of a lot, and it feels like it is really challenging and sometimes really scary for you. And that you have these phases or places where it feels like you're losing too much too fast. But the void is where all the new things come in. The void is where all the change takes place. And so that also means you have this tremendous potential to be in a completely different place in 6 months, right? So I'd say try to make sure that you're letting these things go comfortably and, take the time to grieve them, take the time to process them, but also take the time to visualize what those upgrades might look like. And to be honest, I feel like your own visualization of that will still be limited. It feels like so many really great things are changing in your life. And these are things you've asked for, It feels like your business is revolutionizing. It feels like you may even be moving. It feels like your close relationships are shifting. It feels like a lot of really exciting things. But of course, I would say people want change. They want exciting things. They want gifts. And then they don't want the change or time it takes to get them, because that's not pretty. It's like living in a construction zone. So you're in a construction zone and it may feel heavy. You may have a lot of grief. Be real with it, sit with it, but don't let it overwhelm you. Remember to also make space for and call in the positive things. When I was in a really deep time of transition like this, Spirit reminded me about my breath, and it was so funny. I love arguing with them all the time. And so for me, I was like, my life's falling apart. I don't need to worry about her breath. It's just a breath. And they said, without that breath, none of this would matter, right? You'd be dead. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. Let's just perspective for a moment, breathe it through. And it was, you come out on the other side, a brand new, beautiful individual in person, and everything you wanted is starting to make sense. So remember that. I would say that's like the star we hold on to, the thing we tether to. There's a lot of potential for change. And that change feels really beautiful and aligned to the things you've been asking for and working really hard for.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of burning everything to the ground and I just don't know where to go. So that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much.
Very welcome. It feels very
Burn
Phoenix.
it down.
Right. Phoenix, reborn from the ashes.
Love you, Sarah.
Love you back. Thank you.
Of course. Hey guys, if you are waiting in line, just be patient instead of logging off, because we've got a line here. So just rather than log off, just hang out. We're going to bring you up. Next up is Sadie Parker. Sadie Parker, how you doing?
Oh, hey guys, I'm great. How are y'all?
Amazing. There she is. Okay.
Sadie.
Hi, Sadie. We're going to let you take it from here.
Sure. Well, I mean, I was just kind of tuning in, listening a little bit. Just then, I guess I'm curious, like, just a little bit about you and how you get most of your messages. What does like numerology and that kind of stuff mean to your? I'm curious, kind of like how you receive most of your info.
Well, it depends on what I'm reading and how I'm working with people. I actually read gifts and train gifts in other people. So this answer is probably going to be way more complicated than you wanted it to be, but I do train people how to use their gifts. So for something like this, I tap into psychic vision, remote viewing, energetic scans, extrasensory, and even sometimes talking to your spirit guides, depending on what's going on. For example, with the lady who was just up, we were doing some remote viewing and kind of extrasensory. So that's the feeling the emotion first and then trying to figure out what that emotion was and going deeper. When I'm working with clients personally or privately, I access Akashic records and such. We would do that through guides and through higher self or soul.
Nice.
So it's like we go up there for the information, not out here. And if I don't necessarily use numerology or astrology, but I find that I channel information about it by accident. So like it's always going to come up. I call it the cosmic soup we are currently sitting in or experiencing. So I'll find that I do my sessions for the week and there's a theme. And then I realize that theme happens to align with astrology. It's easier to work on the thing that's already being exposed, right? So astrology will expose a theme and then we can dig deeper and unravel it and get the tools for it. So it depends on what we're doing, but it's not, spirit just kind of tells me the stuff and then all the rest of the stuff aligns to it.
Nice. Very cool. I appreciate the answer. Anything fun coming up for me or anything at all?
Let's see. So it's interesting. I'm getting a vision of you working with a younger kid, but it feels like you are naturally, when the way you work with people is really interesting. You are like intuitive, but raw, but educational. You've got a whole mashup of, it's like somebody took a person and mashed it between a bunch of different timelines. Like it's kind of old fashioned, but still new age. I love the vibe of it. It sounds a lot of fun, but it feels like a lot of what you are here to do is working with younger children and helping them feel safe in their skin and feel safe exploring kind of all that is. You know, you're not confined to any place, space, time, or modality is kind of what it feels like. You're this all-inclusive educator. And that's really interesting to me. I don't know what that means or what that means for you, but it does feel like you need to do more of it. It's very fulfilling and very beautiful and really necessary.
I really appreciate that. I love connecting with anybody on that kind of level. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sadie, for joining us today.
Yeah.
Have a good one. Next up, we've got Sam. How you doing, Sam?
I'm good. How are you?
Phenomenal. We're going to let you ask a question.
Thank you so much. I'm totally blown away. I thought I was logging into a real estate seminar, and this is 10 times better. Hi, Jessenia. This is Samantha. I kind of would like to just see if you can get any kind of a reading on where I'm supposed to go, just struggling financially. I'm an art teacher. I work 3 jobs, and I'm just tired of working for other people. And I've been looking into real estate to get some kind of a passive income going, and just kind of struggling with that. Just not trusting, scared to, pay the money up front and then losing it, and just not sure where to go. But I feel like I am supposed to be doing something in real estate.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot. I'm just trying to figure out which one to focus on first.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No. It's not, never reason to be sorry. So what we're seeing is that there's a lot of things going on in your life that seem to be taking from your ability to find success. And it's definitely not that you're not trying, right? Mm-hmm. You're putting yourself out there and maybe even trying too hard in some directions. And a lot of, I'm going to flag some things just that you said, okay? Because those are going to be important to recognize and understand. There seems to be lacking organization and discipline. And it's because you're so exhausted, you're so overworked, you're so depleted, that you can't give something 100% because you're giving everything like, 15% here, 30% here, 5% here, 45% here. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And that's hard. That's not going to work for you.
Okay.
And the other red flag that I was seeing was, you were saying something about like, I'm having fear. I don't want to make the investment. I don't want to do this or that. And I do. So my personal clients are referral only. I only work with a handful of people personally a year. And a lot of them, we work through their businesses. They're, very wealthy, very successful people. And so I've learned a lot through them, helping them, channeling for them, for their businesses and things. And one of the most powerful things I've learned, actually, Sebastian Angus on social media says it all the time, wealth is a mindset. And the idea is that you can take millions away from a millionaire. They're going to build it again. They're going to recreate it. And it's because they have the mindset to create anywhere they go. And one of the most beautiful things about real estate is it's a sure program, right? As long as you're devoted to doing the work and showing up and making sure you've got the clients, you're snagging clients, real estate's always going to exist. And they structure it for you. So there's actually a lot less risk. I'm an entrepreneur by nature. I've been one since I was 20.
Okay.
So I've learned a lot in the process, and I've definitely, my version of work has a lot more risks, or had in the past when I was building. Real estate is a really beautiful way to do that without as much risk. I think the most important thing to anybody out there who wants to get into that is you have to find someone who speaks your language and is going to support you through it. But then there's a lot of, like we said, some of those red flags. You being afraid of the investment. Fear is restrictive energy. Any decision you make out of fear is going to keep leading you down bad roads. It's never actually going to lead you to a safe place, a better place, a growing place.
Mm-hmm.
So always be cautious when you say, I am afraid of. You have to really get to a place where you are pulling that back and saying, what is worse? Is it worse that I do this and keep exhausting myself, burning myself out, or that I invest in myself,
Mm-hmm.
An investment in yourself is always going to be important. And I feel like real estate is a great investment in yourself because it's not necessarily that much money. When we kind of come down to how much we could make in real estate,
Mm-hmm.
It's not that much money. But there are less risky ways to manage it. And that's with a good coach. So what I'm hearing here is that, and I know I get fully, and this is what I mean, it's a lot, because when I'm seeing all of this, I get that you have to work these 3 jobs. You have to do this stuff. You have to be putting all your energy into everything and to keep things going, right? So that because it's like a necessity for you, which I get the conundrum you're in, the spiral you're in, the feeling stuck. But the thing is that you have to be willing to step outside of that long enough to say, this isn't working. This is exhausting me. I am totally run down. You know what Spirit said to me, which I still laugh about? It's one of my favorite things. They said, stop half-assing a million things and whole-ass one thing. And that's my psychic business. It's, now thriving and doing really well. So it's the same type of idea. You have to stop half-assing all these things and really, really devote to whole-assing one vision of you.
Mm-hmm.
So what I like to do with clients is get to a 5-year trajectory. Like, what type of money do you want? And how do you think you're going to get there? Real estate is great because you can create a goal and you can backtrack it and work through that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say, how much time do you think you have to devote to that to get it? And that should be your priority, and everything else has to be secondary. And it might suck for a while. You might find yourself, cutting back or rebudgeting or reprioritizing funds, but it would be worth it if that's what you want. And you have to whole ass it, right? You have to go in 100%, and that has to be your main priority, and everything else would have to be secondary. So it is messy, and it's scary, but it's not going to work unless you're going to be 100% about it. So it's a decision you really have to make and stick to. We still have free will. If you're going to do it in fear, if you're going to do it out of restriction, if you're going to be exhausted, it's not going to work for you.
Okay.
If you're going to do it with a great coach that you feel safe with, that you feel supported with, that you have a good team and you feel, excited to do that, and you're ready to really make that priority, then it has all the potential to work for you and to give back.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Sam, for the question. Appreciate you coming through today. Next up, we've got Mr. Steve Richards. Hello, Steve.
Hold on a second. They're calling me.
Calling you.
You're up.
Psychic's calling.
Hey, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Can you guys hear me?
We sure can. Yeah, we're gonna let you take it away.
What's up, bro?
Hi, Steve.
Can you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Hey, I'm trying to do two things at once, but I'm listening.
Yeah.
Hey,
What?
here's a question for you. So, I've been on a really deep spiritual awakening for the last year, and well, it's been a lot longer than that. But over the last like 10 months or so, when I'm on plant medicine, I've been able to do a lot of energy work. And I really want to. I'm curious what might come through for you, because it's a struggle for me to be able to do it when I'm not on medicine. Does that make sense? So it's almost like I'll do like an ayahuasca ceremony, and then like a week later, it's almost like I'll heal somebody. And then it's like a week later, it's like that seemed like a movie that I watched. It's almost like it's not real.
Okay.
So I'm really interested in pursuing those.
I love this question because I'm an educator by nature. And one of the things that I help people do is unlock their gifts, like I said earlier, to train and strengthen them. And I'm not against plant medicine at all. I think that it's really cool for shattering some heavy blocks and moving energy and getting us awake and helping us see things differently. So what I would suggest for something like this is it's not consistent because it's coming through plant medicine. So it's always going to be amplified around the medicine. Now, the way to make it consistent and what I have found, so I found gifts being amplified in clients by accident. I personally have found gifts in everybody. I think everybody has gifts. And I think that's what makes me a little different than other readers is I work to help people own their power versus trying to create this illusion that I'm somehow like super special and stuff are different. I think we all have gifts. We all have the ability to use them, and they're necessary for what's coming, and that we would all be better people if we were tapping in. So I learned to activate and open gifts by accident through healing. And I know that it sounds really strange, but let's consider it this way. Energy is energy. And if I'm reactive, explosive, easily triggered, and disconnected from my emotion, then those are all becoming distractions to my gift structure. Those are all taking energy, creating reaction instead of observation, misleading me instead of letting intuition lead. So what I learned was the more we heal, the more efficient we are energetically, and the less reactive, explosive, and triggered we are. So we actually hear our spirit team. We just start hearing them all the time, and we can take direction from them, and they can lead us. We all have spirit guides. We all have intuition. So as we clear that with a little bit of training and information, we actually just hear all the time. We feel guided all the time. We don't feel alone anymore. So generally speaking, I'd say do a little bit more of that work. And I know you're on it. You're already doing some of the work. It may even help you to join a community that's kind of like self-healing. I have a community. We call it's Shadow Work Group on Discord. And we give assignments. We support each other. It's actually a really beautiful, lively community. Everybody's always doing the work to reflect. And we even have a gift practice group. So, because again, one of the side effects is your gifts start evolving and growing and getting really intense. So we practice it in the group. But that's how I would recommend everybody do that work on their end. Healing helps you unravel all of the ways you are stuck, limited, and kind of putting your own foot in your mouth in the physical. It releases that gross anchor to our emotional reactions and lets us be more in tune, more spiritual. So very simply, that's how you're going to get results all the time. The more you heal, the more ability you have to heal others. So it can become more consistent. So that would be more of like how you are when you're connected. That can be consistent. You can be like that every day is what I'm trying to say. And that's how you would continue amplifying and using that gift, and then unraveling a whole bunch of other gifts.
Awesome. Do you to kind of wrap that? Do you sense from spirit that shamanistic work is heavy in my future?
So shamans, energetically speaking.
Yeah, use the term loosely.
I think so. The way we're using, the way we were using the term
light
might
work,
be a little,
energy
right.
work. Yeah,
right.
Healing.
I just wanted to make, I knew we were using it a little bit differently, so I just wanted to clarify that. You are absolutely a healer, right? And more so than that, you are a channel. You know, you can very wisely support and help people through the spoken word. So I want you to pay more attention to the things you are saying in deep conversation. You know, you ever sit down with somebody, and I know you do, but this is what this is. You sit down with somebody, they have a problem, suddenly you answer it, and you don't even know how or why you got that answer. You're just like, I don't know, that was good. I should write that down for me. That's the channel. So that's very natural to you. And that's actually one of your stronger gifts. And you use that all the time. Most people, like I said, disregard their gift because it's so naturally what they do that they don't even see it as a gift. They just are constantly using it. So if, you know, you can expand on that, you can keep using that. You're already doing that. That's the wisdom, the connection. We call it the channel, right? It's a throat chakra gift. And through that, a lot of healing comes through, a lot of support, a lot of feeling seen, a lot of feeling heard. And that's a really powerful gift to amplify too.
Yeah. Awesome.
That
Good
Discord
stuff.
group.
Nice meeting you guys.
Hey, thanks.
Good to see you, Steve.
Yeah. Can you put that in the chat?
Public,
see it.
yeah. Can you put it in the chat? Is there a URL I can type out for it?
Oh, are we talking to me? What?
Yeah, the shadow work group on Discord. Is that
yeah, it's on my website under my subscriptions.
Okay, I'll go find it and put it in the chat. But let's bring some.
On we go. All right, let's bring up one of my favorite dudes here, Scott Garcia. Scott, you with us?
Yeah,
What's up,
I'm here.
Daddy? How you doing?
How you doing? Good. Just sitting here at soccer practice watching my daughter.
Amazing. Take it away, Scotty.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, like, what direction I should take in real estate or business. Like, if I should, you know, continue down the wholesale path. I've gotten into capital raising for a hotel in Fountain Hills right now.
There's something here about getting stronger with investing groups. You're really good at talking to people and getting people to invest in larger projects. And that's a really strong road for you that you need to do more of. That's like limitless for you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm starting to do that. I just went to Raise Fest like 2 weeks ago and started learning about private capital. And before the Squad Up Summit, I'm going to another fund launch group. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, it's really easy for you. You just like have this powerful way of getting people involved and excited about being a part of a project, but it's the way you communicate. You know, you have such a strong plan and you are such a good educator that it makes them feel safe and trust, you know, to invest and be a part of the process. So it's your skill. It's your magic.
Okay. All right. That's great to hear. I'll focus on that like 110% then.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. Looks beautiful.
Awesome. And then like with health, I've been having some like health, like diabetes, thyroid issues. I'm trying a keto diet right now, but like what avenue should I take with that?
One of my favorite things to explain to people is the medical system. You know, there was this little video that I shared on my page the other day that was a perfect example of it. The medical system is like, I go to the doctor and I'm like, it smells in my kitchen. And they're like, here's some Febreze. And we keep going back and they just keep amplifying the smell, you know, enhancer or whatever that is. Food is your superpower. Food is your magic. Food is your healer. The two things you just told me you had can be healed, changed, flipped, and totally shattered through the proper diet. And it's a great time to do that because you're still young. So you may even get into a place where you are feeling better than you've ever felt. But food is going to be your superpower. Really invest in that. You know, change the family, everything, you know, get rid of everything that's not supporting you. Your kids and family might hate you for a minute, but then it's a gift you've given them for the rest of their lives. So I'd say just use the power of food. I'm not sure keto is the power of food because it's very restrictive with a purpose. I'd say kind of break it up and stick to what's going to help me with these particular illnesses and diagnoses. And then that is going to be the healthiest avenue for you. And make that priority. I'm not saying don't take medicine. I'm saying acknowledge medicine is dealing with the symptoms, but that you can deal with the root or lessen the root and really stop other diseases and illnesses and issues from surfacing and taking over for you.
Okay. Awesome. I appreciate you so much.
Very welcome. Thank you for showing up today.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you, Scott. Good to see you. Guys, if we bring you backstage and you ask a question, we're not mad at you for kicking you out of backstage. It's just to open up a spot for somebody else to come through. So just letting you guys know that. On we go to Corianne Wright. Corianne, how are you?
Uh-oh, she's muted again.
Uh-oh.
I do it every time. Hi.
Hello.
Take it away,
Hi,
Corianne.
Corianne. Bye, Corianne.
Bye. Last time we spoke, I really enjoyed our conversation. I've been delving into more breath work and meditation since. And so I feel like I'm getting more direct in my ask out, but I'm interested if there's anything I need to listen to or hone in on.
Let's see. Okay. Your homework is going to be to do more work around why you don't believe you're powerful and all of these weird belief systems you have around limiting your ability to like take space, to be powerful, to be outspoken, to be loud, to be dramatic, because it feels like that you have a lot of those. You know, you have been used to being kind of like shy or reserved or kind or timid, and that is taken from it's almost like a fear to be powerful, a fear to be seen, a fear to make too much of an imprint, a fear to kind of like, you know, cause waves or stir things up. And it's interesting because it's a block. Like, you are incredibly powerful, but you have to be willing to like let yourself be. Does that make sense?
I feel like I know a lot of people who are speaking into that power, and I can it's almost like I can see that block, but I'm not sure I know what's repeating in my head that's telling me that.
So it's super. This is the way I would do that. This is the way I would do that. I would sit and start noticing when you silence yourself, when you hold back, when you close your mouth, when you speak lower, when you put your eyes down to the ground. You literally are saying, I don't have the power or authority to hold space, to be seen, to speak up, to share my voice. You're running away from your power. So you could this is a very like visual process. You could actually see it if you pay enough attention to it. And like, it was funny, Spirit called me out at this, and it makes me laugh now that I used to be this way. One time I was out and it was really crowded and somebody bumped into me and I said, I'm sorry. And I started apologizing. She was like, what's your problem? She just like ran into you. Like, don't apologize when people literally like walk up and stab at you. You don't have to say anything, but you also don't have to apologize. So one of the things they pulled out for me was like aggressive apologizing, right? And I had to stop. I just stopped apologizing. Instead, I started kind of working on what that meant for me. And I started thinking, am I really sorry? Or, you know, am I like, wow, it's crowded in here. Not a big deal, but like walking away from it and not apologizing. So pay attention to your behavior, because I think when you'll notice, like, you're literally at a threshold and you like shut yourself down. You run away from it. You walk away from it. You close up. Your throat closes up. You become timid. You become shy. You keep it to yourself. You journal it or write it down, and then you throw it out and you won't deal with it. So pay attention to those things and you'll kind of start unraveling them for yourself. And then you have to face the fear. Why was I afraid of speaking up? It's usually we're afraid of confrontation. We're afraid of being wrong. We're afraid of, you know, someone arguing with us or intimidating us. And nothing in this world gets done without ruffling a few feathers. And Spirit said this to me, and this is, you know, Einstein, right? That in order to change the trajectory or something, you need equal opposite force. That's friction by nature. So we can't change anything in this world without a bit of friction, which means if I want change, if my mission is change, I have to get comfortable with ruffling feathers, right? Or I'm not doing anything. I'm not changing anybody.
Absolutely. You know, it hits me immediately that I like to wear a cowboy hat, but I feel like a big person when I wear a cowboy hat, so I don't.
So you're muting yourself and not letting yourself be expressed. Yeah, I mean, be louder. Yes, it's a beautiful symbol of you limiting yourself and kind of dimming that light and not letting yourself be authentically you. That's going to unleash a whole bunch of things. You've got to realize that the things you choose are expressions of everything about you. When you stop shutting down that energy, everything amplifies. You know, your gifts, your connection, your presence, your self-love, all of this stuff gets better.
Thank you for your wisdom. Y'all should jump back here. She got me again.
Gloria, love you so much. You heard her. Shine bright, girl.
Thank you. I'm getting.
Oh, sorry. Finish your thought. My bad.
Oh, I was just saying I'm getting louder. It's the perfect time. I'm ready to go.
Just as she's saying getting louder, Bobby shuts her up. Okay. Bye, Coriander. But we brought you back. On we go. On we go. We've got Miriam. How you doing, Miriam?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you.
Ask your
Hello.
question.
Well, it's more of like, me trying to get into business and working on my abundance. How does because I feel like there's a lot of blocks in me that regarding abundance and prosperity. And I don't know what to do to like open it up. I've done some energy work. I am a Reiki practitioner as well. But I'm just, I feel like there's so much blockages.
Okay. So I'm going to speak a little bit generally at first, and then we'll get more specific for you.
Thank you.
But I feel like this will help everybody, so I wanted to talk about it. When I start all of my sessions doing an energy scan and kind of breaking down the patterns and then helping people with the patterns. And one of the major themes that I think is really interesting that I learned in my work is that abundance blocks come from the sacral chakra, and the sacral chakra is house of receiving, house of sex, house of masculinity, femininity, our family, vulnerability. And so if we want to create a more abundant future and we want to be able to receive more money and we want to be able to grow financially, we can work on those things. We can actively work on that homework. We can make sure that we are not repressing ourselves sexually, that we are exploring our femininity, that we are comfortable moving back from masculine to feminine. We are all aspects of both. I've definitely had, I've had situations where I've been more masculine, situations where I've been more feminine. We're supposed to kind of fluidly move between both. So I would say learning more about those subjects and doing more of that work. Vulnerability is huge because vulnerability is your ability to let yourself be taken care of. We were talking about this earlier, nobody lets themselves be taken care of if they don't trust, if they don't feel taken care of, if they feel exhausted, if they feel depleted. You're going to create blocks there and you're going to want to do all the work yourself. Nobody gets anywhere doing anything themselves, right? Even money itself is an exchange of energy. We can't receive if we are trying to do everything ourselves. It's saying like we're just recycling all our own energy. So those subjects, generally speaking, for everyone who wants to create a more abundant life would be really sacral chakra work. And then understanding and then we can move into other things like what's my purpose? Where's my drive? What is my authentic expression? How am I going to use that to make some money or to amplify my wealth? Now, for you specifically, Spirit is saying that you're not really clear about what you want. Like you're doing all this work, but there's no direction specifically like this is my vision, this is my goal, this is the thing I wish to get. And I think the problem with that is it leaves a lot of space for things to not work out. And it means that you're not following through because you don't know if it's really made for you or if it's going to support you. Does that make sense to you? Or do I need to go further with that?
Yes. It kind of makes sense because that's my problem. Like, what's my path? What am I meant to do?
Right. So without the clarity, now this is a fun exercise I do with clients too. I mean, I have them go and try to figure out where, if you removed all your fear, all your obstructions, your childlike wonder, where would you put yourself in 5 years, ideally, with no fear, no restriction, no adult mindset trying to rationalize why we can't do it? I'd say start there. Start in your ridiculous childhood dreams and then make it real. How can I do more of this? It's really fascinating. Like I wanted to be an art therapist. right? So I went and I realized I do all the things I wanted to do with art therapy with my work now. So my ridiculous dream was art therapy. And then my actual dream ended up being way more ridiculous because like here I am reading people. But it still became a part of my vision. I followed it and it became my anchor. So even if it looks different down the road, it's a really beautiful way to start that visual. We usually have a clearer vision of what we're capable of or what we want to be as children. And then we kind of let people ruin that for us over time. So if you want to hack that yourself, I would say create a beautiful vision board of what you would want to be without any fear, restriction, if money wasn't a problem. And then you find a way to make that real by reverse engineering it and pulling it back and leaving that as your anchor, your road. Everybody needs a visual. Nobody manifests anything without having any type of goals. So goals are a really powerful way to set yourself up for success. And if you don't have that, if you don't have an anchor, if you just kind of like, you're like trash blowing in the wind, everybody's deciding your life for you. So for you, it's going to be super important that you get really solid on that. And then everything else can be a derivative of that. Everything else can be a support system to that. It also helps you set stronger boundaries, Miriam, because when something shows up in your life that isn't aligned to that vision, you're going to have to learn to say no.
Got it. Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. We're going to keep it going here. Moving on to Eugene Mark. Eugene, take it away.
Wow. Hi, guys. This is
Hello.
hello. Just want to say you're good. You're just
Thank
following
you.
you the whole time. I had to jump into my room because my daughter and my wife are having dinner right now, but I was listening to you guys. I have and my question basically is about me and my process, or how I'm going to be moving forward at this point. For the past couple of years, I've been in a new path. I am still a clinician. I'm a nurse. I do know the paths that I want to go, but I'm also clinically ADHD. So my mind is at 1,000 miles in 10,000 different directions.
A lot of my clients are neurodivergent. I'm like that's my specialty, sir.
Yeah, I tried to narrow it down with natural neurotropics and then making sure that I've gotten, because of Jamil, I got into meditating, and I was always into prayer, of course, but I mean that was just my faith, my religion. This was more of me centering myself, and for the past I'd say 8 to 9 months, the meditation has centered me in a way where the medication couldn't in any sense. So it's been amazing. And this is so cool because I have never had the balls to talk to a true blue psychic, and I just wanted to know, as a Taurus, I'm in my 40s. I'm basically, I think I'm basically Jamil's slightly older brother, and I, from the background, of course. I mean, I love watching him, and I love following the group, and I'm part of the Astro family, and it's just, I just started into this, and I'm trying to create this world, this future, and like you, I do have an artistic side, so both my left and right work, but my artistic side seems to work a little bit more than my logical side, and just it's just I can't, I'm not seeing my path as clear, or I guess I'm not feeling that.
I think it's so a couple of things here. I think it's so let's just start with this. You have a really interesting ancestral line, like really interesting. When it comes to the souls that are supporting you, there are some really interesting medicine men and healers, and just so gentle and wise. There's like beasts, but they're like gentle, wise healers. A very interesting support system, spiritually speaking. So when I see something like that, and then all of the other stuff that's coming through just while you're talking, you are a healer by nature, but it's interesting because you've put yourself into a box or a container that's very limiting. And I think you're stuck and confused because you're like, it feels good to heal. It doesn't feel good to be in a box, but it feels safe to be in a box. That's a very neurodivergent thing. It's safe to be in a box because outside of the box, you got to create your own systems. You got to be disciplined. You got to watch for your schedule. You got to work for your own money. It's scary. So a lot of things don't work like that for neurodivergent people who want the escape of moving out of the box because it's harder to be disciplined and hold yourself accountable and do all this stuff. So that's part of I get your conundrum here. You know, I can see all these pieces that are hard to kind of shove together and be like, what am I doing with this?
Yeah.
So it feels like real estate. I love real estate even for neurodivergent people because like I said, it's a ladder. It's a ladder system. It's got, you know, paperwork, legal systems, legal structures, support systems. So it's different than throwing yourself into entrepreneurship in a scary way. Yeah. So I love that, but mostly for freedom, you know, and that if you have this, you know, mentally, I think it's important for you to realize that real estate could be freedom and that you need to heal, but you need to heal outside of this box. And you can do a lot of that. And you have this really powerful spiritual system supporting you. And that can actually give you a lot more financial freedom and a lot more freedom with your time. Like it just feels like you have very little time in your world. And that you could the growth that comes from freeing up some of that time is really huge in itself. Like you need time to work on you, to be with you, to think things through, to spend time with this amazing spirit team, to prepare for the next phases. So your step by step, and I know you guys love this stuff, right? Neurodivergent stuff, you need steps. Step one is going to be financial freedom. So I'd say you're going to prioritize real estate to get financial freedom. You're going to take financial freedom. And you're going to get out of the box and do more out of the box healing. Find out your gifts, figure out what you're doing. Now, I do feel like for you that shaman training would be important because you have a line of shamans behind you. So they must want you to activate some of that. So I would go into some of that and then, you know, mesh your science side with your spirit side. You can be both. You know, nobody has to give you more permission than that. And that's your unique imprint you're creating in your healing, that you are both. You have this background and this information, but you're also listening and guided by spirit. So I love mixing science and spirit. I have a whole bunch of scientific research I do that I love. So it's not, it's where the future is.
Yeah.
And it makes you different. And that's the beauty of it. Nobody needs people who are exactly the same.
Appreciate
the universe is mental.
What was that?
I said the universe is mental. The Nobel Prize was just given to physicists who proved that that physical reality is a manifestation of consciousness. It is proven at this point. So
you're saying that the matrix is
mental.
already being broken down.
Saying it's all happening in the head, my man.
All right, no problem.
Love you, brother. And you're my younger brother. I'm the oldie. See you, Eugene.
I'm 7. I got you, but 1 year.
Oh, okay. You got me by a couple. Okay. Love you, bro. Hey, I'm happy you're meditating, man. That's the way.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
My man. Jessenia, we got 2 people left. Are you good?
I do have to go. I'm a mom of a million kids, guys.
Okay.
I had so much fun, though. I love this so much.
Guys, we'll be doing this again sometime. So just make sure you keep watching on social media and tune back in. Sorry for those who didn't make it today, but we had a beautiful time. Jessenia, thank you so much for your knowledge, for your spirit, for your generosity, and we love you.
Jamil, can I say one thing before I head off? A lot of people messaged me asking me the same question, and I meant to say it earlier, and I totally forgot. But 2, they were asking me about how to work with me or get sessions and stuff. And my personal one-on-one sessions are referral only at the moment. But I do have on my website subscription options that allow you to be a part of our Zoom coaching, which is kind of like this. I go in and I teach something for a long time, and then we have live questions from the audience, and it's really fun. So you can ask questions about your growth, your personal experience and such, but that's all on the website. And those are kind of like the way I'm working with people right now, mostly group settings.
There you go, guys. The website's on the screen. JesseniaNozzolillo.com. We love you, Jessenia. Thank you so much for your time. You are the best. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you again.